Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and you're going to be nicer to call center staff after watching this video. You just didn't do that to me. Sorry for trying to keep your account safe. Hi all, me again, back with another story from my time with an Australian bank. The backstory is, all Australian banks, and I presume most banks in the Visa, MasterCard and Amex networks, use a fraud detection system called Falcon. In short, it detects transactions that are either outside of the individual customer's purchasing history profile and or the purchasing profiles of a generic customer like them. It can be extremely accurate and attuned. For example, I once dealt with a fraud block because a customer attempted to purchase size 8 stilettos because she had in the past only purchased size 7 shoes. In that case, the customer was purchasing the shoes as a gift. The customer laughed at how on it the bank was in protecting her. But this story isn't about her. It's about a customer I'm going to call Richard, because he was an absolute one. Richard was a pain in the ass from the start. He huffed and sighed at everything I said. I asked for a customer number, huff. I asked to confirm his access code, sigh. I thank him for the information and ask for the reason for his call, huff and sigh. You get the picture. Richard was out at a fancy restaurant with friends, and I'm graciously trying to pay for my bill, but my card keeps getting declined. The transaction was close to $1,000. I looked into the system notes and Falcon had flagged the transaction as potential fraud because it was outside the customer's purchase history profile. He had never had a transaction from this restaurant before. It was in a different state than his state of residence and it was the largest single purchase he had made in months. I confirmed with Richard the amount that he was attempting to process. To doubt check, we were talking about the same transaction. After some more huffing, he looked at the receipt from the restaurant and confirmed the amount. I have the block lifted from his card and marked the transaction as legitimate. I told Richard he could go ahead and reprocess the transaction and it will clear. He asked what caused the problem. I explained Falcon thought the transaction was outside his usual spending history and decided to decline instead of risking clearing a fraudulent transaction. This is when the whiny, whinging toddler tantrum erupted. You just didn't do that to me. You and your stupid system just embarrassed me in front of all my friends. OMG, you can't do this to me. He literally said OMG, not oh my god. I swear, hand on heart, he kept repeating himself, getting more and more hysterical for the next 5 minutes, no matter how much I attempted to calm him down or apologise for trying to save him from fraud. I could hear his friends in the background laughing, so I guess they were clearly getting more enjoyment from the show he was putting on than the dinner he was going to pay for. Richard ended the call by saying he was going to close his accounts first thing Monday. I think if he kept his cool and understood the fraud detection system is for his benefit, his friends would have been none the wiser about his card being declined, or he could have gotten off the phone and had a laugh with his friends about how the bank thinking a dinner purchase was fraud. Oh well. I really don't understand why people get so upset about a system that is literally trying to save your money. I recently had something like this happen to me. I woke up one morning to a text message from my bank asking if I tried to make a payment at 4 o'clock in the morning and if it wasn't me to contact them right away. Apparently my card details had been skimmed somehow and someone in another country was trying to purchase something from Facebook. So we cancelled the card and the guy ordered me a new one. I mean, if that flag hadn't have been there, it's possible I wouldn't have noticed that money leave my account. I mean, sure, it can be embarrassing if your card gets declined at a restaurant, but the pros outweigh the cons if you ask me. You've ruined Christmas. Sure I have. Anyone who's ever worked in banking or customer service in general knows Christmas is the time of year when all the a-holes come out to play. You get the Karens, the Richards, and every shape and kind of choosing beggar. These two stories are the ones that stick out in my memory as the best examples of the customers I dealt with on Christmas Eves. Every Christmas Eve, I found myself rostered until 10 PM in the bank's contact centre. When the last branch closed at 5 PM and they didn't reopen until the 2nd of January. So if someone called after 5 PM and failed POI, which is proof of identity, they were crap out of luck until the new year. Failure of POI over the phone locked out all phone banking services and online account access. The only way to have it reinstated was to attend the branch with a government-issued ID. Karen called and explained she wanted to do a funds transfer to her daughter's account. Both Karen and her daughter both bank with us, so the transfer would be instantaneous. Before asking the POI questions, I follow my scripting guide to educate Karen that this could be done via her online banking. I get the usual boomer response of, I don't like computers. So I ask her for a customer number as she hadn't entered it during the IVR. She said she can't find it. Okay, this happens. I ask for a credit card or debit card number. She doesn't have that. Okay, that's annoying, but whatever. I do a name search, find her accounts, and because she couldn't provide me her customer number or credit card or debit card number, I advise her I'll need to ask her additional security questions. If she fails these questions, phone banking and online banking will be blocked until she can attend a branch, which won't be until the new year. I give her one last chance to go and find her customer number or credit or debit card number, but she says, I don't need to. I know what I have with the bank and what I've been doing. Fine, I think. I ask, can she tell me what type of account she has with the bank? Field. Which branch did she open one of her accounts at? Field. Name a transaction you've done on one of her accounts in the last 7 days. Field. I sigh because I know I'm about to cop it. I explain that she has failed POI and her phone banking and online banking are now locked. She went off. She gave some variation of how stupid POI is, how the bank will be losing all of her business. Sure, Karen, we'll miss the $100 annual fee on your credit card. And finally, you're just like Scrooge, you've ruined Christmas. The other story I remember is about getting an overdraft attached to an account. Now, the bank has strict guidelines on lending requirements on who can and cannot have an overdraft. One of the instant declines is to be receiving government benefits as a sole source of income. In this story, Richard called. He was rude right away and slurring his speech as if he'd been drinking all day. After POI, he said he wanted to know his account balance. He had one account with the bank. It's known as a basic account. No fees, no overdrawn interest charges, free ATM withdrawals, etc. It's designed for customers who are government benefit recipients. I gave him his balance, which was like $2. He started ranting that his payment hadn't arrived. I scrolled through his transactions and found he'd received his payment 3 days prior, but he'd spent it all. Government benefits in Australia pay every 14 days, so he'd be without money for 11 days. He then demanded that I give him an overdraft in his account. Normally, if someone on the face of it met the requirements, I would transfer them to a different department to process the application, but if they wouldn't qualify, I was not allowed to transfer. I explained that he wouldn't qualify as it appeared from banking records his sole source of income came from government benefits. This is when Richard started with, "Me kids have nothing for Christmas. They're starving. You're telling me I have to look my kids in their effing eyes and tell them I can't effing feed them and there's no Santa?" I hear a kid crying in the background. "Get me effing kids are crying now because of you. You've effed Christmas." I felt sorry for the kids growing up in that environment. I tried to get Richard in touch with a local charity that were distributing Christmas hampers of food and gifts, but he kept up the abuse. This went on for a while longer before I terminated the call after realising there was no way on bringing him back to being a reasonable person for me to try and help. You want to know what his transactions were after being paid? All without exception were for alcohol, cigarettes, McDonald's, and $100 cash withdrawal. He blew all of his money, and I'm the a-hole who ruined Christmas? I've definitely had customers like the Karen in the first story. They think they know every little thing about their accounts, when in reality, if they just took 5 minutes before they even called to get a letter with their details on it, their card, or something to refer to just in case they didn't know an answer to a question, then all of these blocks wouldn't happen. It's staggering how many people let their ego get the better of them. Caller was so bad, security was notified. I once worked at a retirement management as a retirement service rep. A few calls always stuck out, but this one I will never forget. I came into work about 15 minutes early. I do the usual, check email, check the financial news, read what crazy policy change the higher ups made, seemed like one every week, and check my retirement account balance. Now, for whatever reason, I heard my coworker, we'll call her Lacey, seemed to be having a really hard time with a caller. Lacey isn't the type to get affected, but she was really struggling and she seemed a bit shaken. Then I heard, "Thank you for your service, sir." And then it dawned on me. She's having trouble with a veteran caller. Being a veteran myself, I asked her, "Want me to take the call?" She didn't hesitate and thanked me. But she also warned me because she was threatened by the caller. Now, I'm really trying to show my manager that I am ready to take on escalated calls. This was the worst call to show it. So I take the call. I identify myself as a veteran and basically wanted to see where I can help out a fellow veteran. The caller, Chad, is a truck driver and having a hard time with finances. He wants to close his retirement account and get his money. He spills that he does not have money for food or shelter, etc. I look at his account and he has about $2,000, but his account doesn't allow for loans and only hardship withdrawals. This is only a snippet of the 45-minute call I had with Chad. "Unfortunately, sir, your account doesn't allow loans, but it does allow for hardship withdrawals with appropriate documentation." No, I'm not taking that. I want my money now. I need to eat, damn it, and if I crash, the blood will be on your hands. I'm a veteran and a Native American, damn it. Help me. Well, sir, have you gone to the VA for help? They have programs in place for such situations. I tried, and they wouldn't help me. Well, what about your tribe? What kind of response is that? I want my effing money. I'm a truck driver, and I need to eat. If it weren't for us, you wouldn't have any office supplies or the chair you're sitting on. And we thank you for that, but look, when we were in the military, we had rules and orders to follow. We can't break those rules or we get written up. It's the same way with retirement accounts. We have rules and orders we have to follow. Who set those rules? Basically, the IRS. I don't recognize the IRS as a Native American, so who sets your rules? Find me the rules from a governing source. Well, we follow IRS guidelines. Exactly. They're guidelines, not rules. You can give me my money then. No, sir. Not following those guidelines has financial penalties. Just like in the military, we had guidelines on how to do push-ups. An incorrect push-up wouldn't be counted during a PT test. You were never in the military, otherwise you would help me out and give me my money. Yes, I was, sir. I served for 11 years. If you did, then what war did you serve? I was in Iraq in 2005 at Allied Base Iraq. That wasn't a war. It very much was, and I was a part of it. Well then, help a fellow war vet out and give me my money so I can eat. Side note, he never mentioned branch, years he served, wars he served, units he was under, nothing, and we're not allowed to fish for that information. Once again, sir, I cannot, but you can go to the VA and get assistance there. I tried that, damn it, and they won't help. I'm sorry I can't help you out, sir. What was your last unit? I gave the last squadron information and location. Anyone can just spit out numbers and letters. I'm gonna call up the base commander and demand they give you an Article 15, buddy. I'm out of the service. They can't do anything. Oh, they will. I'll see to it that they will. And then I'll come to your office and give you a piece of my mind. And then I'm gonna find your parents and beat the crap out of them too for raising a disrespectful son who doesn't know how to trust his elders. Sir, that sounds like a threat, and if you continue to threaten me, I'll have to end the call. You'll do no such thing. You'll listen to what I have to say, damn it. I'm done talking to you. Get me your manager now. I want you and that other witch fired. So I transfer the call to the escalation team. Escalations? Oh, hey, you know that crazy guy I took from you over 45 minutes ago? He wants to talk to a manager. Looks like you're up again. Okay. And I transfer the call. Lacey spoke for a minute before transferring it to another member of Escalations, and that member was threatened too. So the manager was informed of the situation, and she started some crazy safety protocols. Building security was informed. We had to be escorted to our cars for a few days. Chad's company was informed, and they sent over a photo of Chad so security knew what he looked like. Statements were taken from everyone involved. Legal got involved, but ironically, his phone privileges to the call center weren't revoked. Nothing bad did actually happen, but some people just couldn't take no for an answer. I know OP said that this wasn't the best way to show that they could take escalated calls, but I think they did really well. Given the dialogue, it looks like they kept their composure. Unfortunately, there just wasn't any way to help this customer apart from a hardship withdrawal. Okay, so that's all for r/TalesFromCallCenters. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. And as it's Sunday, I also want to say a massive thank you to my wonderful patrons. BackwardsDDog, Tyler Miller, Jens Banning, Kate McCutcheon, Skyler A, Elizabeth Filmore, Two Chooks, Jen Burton, and a lovely warm welcome to our new patron, Stephen Arnowitt. Thank you all so much for your support. Mwah. That's for you, but keep it between us, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Bye!